Hello and welcome to your reading. This is for you if you have Darkmoon Lilith in Leo or you have Darkmoon Lilith in the 5th house. So this is part of that series, and this is an unusual way for me to film. So what I've done here is, this is the first time I'm filming like this. I can't see what I'm filming. I can only see my two little eyes. My camera has two little holes. My phone has two little cameras. And that's what I'm looking at. I'm sort of like trying to continue to master my skill in what I do. And that's one of the things that I'm doing, is that I can't see what I'm recording anymore. So I'm trying to put myself deeper and deeper into my intuitive headspace when I'm doing readings for you. And I hope you can feel the intensity coming through the camera now. So as we get started, I know that these are a little bit sporadic with the Darkmoon Lilith readings. There's two things that have to come in alignment for me to do these. One is I have to have the energy to do it. It's intense energy. It's a lot to pull in on all levels, intuitively and emotionally. It is the Dark Lady herself. Can you see it? I can't tell. There's that. And also, I mean, she has to be willing to come in and do the message. So she is today. She's got a lot to talk about. So this is an interesting placement. Really, they all are. So what I always do before I come in and do these is I do a little bit of research for myself and I take some notes. So as I like to say with these, because I say it can be like the zodiac sign and the house placement. Yes. A little more stronger for the zodiac placement, but I feel like the house placement, like you can all look at that. Like you could have Leo, you could have Lilith and Leo. They both start with L, which is also interesting. Oh, the door blew open. If it blows open more, I might have to get up and close it because it's really windy and the highway is loud, so I don't want it to pick up that sound. But the zodiac, I find, is the strongest element, but you could have Leo. You could have Lilith and Leo, but that could be like in your 8th or your 9th house or something. So I would go and check out the 8th or 9th house or 2nd house, whatever it is. And you guys have been helpful in the comments with each other to help people figure that out, because it takes a long time for me to explain that in a video. So, excuse me. I am going to talk briefly about having this placement in Leo, and then talk a little bit again in the 5th house. They are very similar. But I feel like 5th house is kind of like how it shows up in your life, like what areas of your life this can show up a little more than others. So here we go. So you may have painful experiences in terms of expressing your creativity, your energy levels. Like it just might be like, you might feel like you need to exert a lot of energy to get a certain amount of things done in the day, but you just don't have it. Like it's a painful experience because you can't get what you want done, completed. And vice versa. Like you may feel like you got a ton of energy, but nobody else can connect with you that day. So how you express yourself and your creativity, you may have issues with this. There is a really interesting, because like I say I've said it with all of them with Lilith, see where you sit on the scale here, because Lilith is really about finding balance in a particular area of your life. And if she's sitting in an area, that's where she wants you to find balance. So because we can have issues with the ego in terms of Leo, you may have an unreasonably strong ego. You may have those that love you and those that hate you and nothing in between. You may often often achieving unbelievable goals. I think having a strong ego is a big part of that, because it doesn't matter who tells you what you can't do, you're going to goddamn do it anyways. So, I mean, that can be healthy in its own way. The problem with this, though, is it can often, that attitude or essence can often be governed by the end justifies the means. So however I get there, it doesn't matter who I need to step on or what I need to do it. Right? Like that's not balanced. So it is finding that balance. Now, not to say that you all have this, because what seems to be the more common aspect of this trait is having a much lower ego than what you should have. Like having a lack of self-confidence. Okay, I'm gonna put my finger there because something else I want to talk about after this. So a lot of you may actually experience more of a lack of self-confidence, while others will overcompensate for this. And of course, the wind just blew the door completely open. We're just going to keep going. And I already talked about the overcompensation, because an overblown ego really is overcompensation for a sense of like having lack in your confidence. So you may feel as well as if it is unsafe for you to enjoy yourself. This may cause like internal clashes. That's the biggest thing. Like Lilith, okay, I said, I know it's kind of choppy because there's so much information. I'm going to get into the reading, don't worry. There's just so much information with this that I'm trying to sort of download as well and take it all in. Okay, so the feeling unsafe to enjoy yourself, this could come back to painful experiences with your expression and your creativity and your energy as well. People may have, like as a child, you may have had parents that, a parent or parents that didn't give unconditional love, right? Like as a parent, you should really just unconditionally love. You can't like your kid all the time, but you certainly love them all the time. So this place, it's always funny, a lot of the Lilith stuff comes back to childhood issues. So, but that's where a lot of things happen for us, but I think they do because we're kind of meant to work them out in this lifetime. I like to say, like, karmically as a child, you don't have any control over who you're born to and what situation you're born into, but that's going to create something for you that you need to work through in life. And that shows up here in Lilith and Leo. Lilith and Leo both have real strong ass personalities. Real strong ass personalities. So when these two come together, there is a clash. There definitely is a clash. As well, okay, you might be shy as a child. You might also feel that love needs to be earned because of what you went through as a child. If you did have a parent that did not provide love unconditionally, this often, and not always, often can show up as a father being very overbearing or dictator-like. So it happened for a reason. You need to sit in it and understand it and learn it and work your way through it. But because of that, you may also look for, there's the risk of attention seeking with this placement. Because attention can almost serve like a healing balm, is how it was described on one of the sites I was reading, which I thought was really interesting. And here's an interesting example. So Marilyn Monroe had Lilith and Leo, and she was a big sex symbol. But so there can be, the difficulty with this is the balance between your masculine and your feminine with this placement. Because both of these, we've got Leo, super, super masculine energy, and we have Lilith, the, like, really the divine feminine, when she's in her true power and not being suppressed and submissive like an Eve. So they're really strong, and when they come together, it can cause conflict within. So if you think about Marilyn, she was either absolutely loved and adored by the men around her, or she was hated by the patriarchal system. They're like, it's such a perfect prime example. She is the epitome of this placement, I feel. Like, just looking back at her life and everything around her, and how she ended up dying, and how, you know, from like hero to zero, and just dragged through the coals by both men and women, utilizing masculine energy in a very unhealthy way. So that's pretty much Lilith and Leo in a nutshell. Again, Leo, feel free to research it on your own and find as many different things as you can. Hang on to what resonates and leave the other stuff behind, because this is not every one of these is going to be an issue in your life, but something that I've discussed is likely going to be prominent. So now, if you don't have Lily, it's so funny because my little dog's name is Lily, and she's the sweetest damn thing in the world. But I see her as one of my my own empathic guardian angels, because she's so very empathic and she's so sweet, and she just cures all my ills just with a little look and a cuddle. So I think Lilith would be up for cuddles if you were honest and straight with her. She's telling me not to go there right now. Okay, so the fifth house. As I said, you may not have Lilith and Leo, but if you've got her in the 5th house, so this is something to think about. So what brings you joy may not bring others joy, and what brings other people joy might actually bring you pain. And when I read that, it blew my mind, because one of the very, very first long distance intuitive tarot readings I did for someone, like long before I even had a YouTube channel, was a woman who was pregnant, and she also had a 2 or 3 year old daughter, and her partner had left her, and she wanted to know if he was coming back. It was such a hard reading to do. Long story short, he was not coming back, and it was better for everyone. And literally the message that I received was that what makes him happy does not make us happy. Like, what makes most of us happy doesn't make him happy. And unfortunately, he ended up, you know, later when she didn't tell me anything beyond like the information of who she was pregnant, had a little daughter, partner left. That was it. Later, after I gave her reading, like quite a few days later, and she had assimilated it and opened up to me and said, like, yeah, he's very abusive, very physically and emotionally and verbally abusive to her. And literally, like, spirit was trying to, because whenever I do a reading like that, I always ask for information to come in the higher good of all those involved, because everybody has a path. And I saw that right here. And maybe that guy had Lilith and Leo, and he was trying to conform to something that didn't make him happy. You know, the world was telling him, you need to get married, you need to have a partner, you need to support them. You don't need to do that. But obviously, if you do find yourself getting someone pregnant, you probably should step up and help out. But anyways, let's get through the whole big thing there. But unfortunately, it manifested in him and becoming, I guess, like violent and aggressive. So I'm not saying that that's who you are in any way. I'm just saying that there may be things that society says, you know, makes us all happy, but you're not happy in it. And you really need to own that for yourself. That also comes out in, was it here? You may completely embrace or reject your sexuality. So too, what is your sexuality? Like, maybe it's different from what the typical, like, you're supposed to be a man and a woman, and you're supposed to be a man really in your strong masculine energy, and you're supposed to be a woman really strong in your feminine energy. You're supposed to come together and have sex, and that's your sexuality, and you do it in one style, and that's it. Like, that's okay. It's not everybody. I mean, you can have men who are like, have such a feminine side, but they're still heterosexual. And you can have women have such an incredibly masculine side, and they're still heterosexual. And then you can have them like completely feminine men, and they're gay, completely, like, it's just there's such a gamut and a spectrum that I really feel like a lot of you, which is funny because Leo and Pride, it's really interesting. I would be curious if you feel safe in the comments. As always, I'm gonna have to go now. The garbage truck is coming. Just a second. It's so noisy. I did remember to put my garbage out. I was in the middle of doing a cancer reading a couple weeks ago. And, oh no, I don't put the garbage out. Okay, so yeah, like Leo and Pride, which is quite interesting, because I really, as I said, if you feel comfortable in the comments, I'm curious if there are more people with this placement that do have what would be considered non-traditional sexuality. And obviously you don't have to put with your sexuality. You can just say, yeah, I completely resonate with this, or don't, or Cindy, you're full of shit, whatever you want to say. May have been shamed or rejected by others over the things that brought you joy. Again, like it just keeps picking that up in the 5th house. That really sits there. So if you don't have Leo in the 5th house, this may or may not resonate, but it might, because I do always see an intertwine with the two of them. You may hide your hobbies and your passions or reject them yourself. But see, that's funny how it overlaps, because painful experiences with your expressions and creativity. Maybe you're into divination. Maybe you're into, I don't know, wizards and warlocks, or you know, there's something that you really enjoy doing, but like, I don't know, maybe you're a lawyer during the day, and you know, your clients really should know that you like to dress up like a wizard, and I don't care what you do. I think that would be fun, actually. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there's something likely that goes on in your life that you have a lot of passion or a big hobby for, and you might be shamed for it. You might have feelings of rejection from lovers. You may have experience a lot of rejection from lovers. And I could kind of see how this would work in with your sexuality as well. Like you could, whether you're gay or straight or bi or there's a whole area of people too that like have no sexuality. I thought that was fascinating. Oh God, life would probably be really easy, much easier. But no, because I've been reading their threads and it's not. Nobody's life is ever easier. But like you could, like, let's say you're in a heterosexual relationship, and you want to experiment a little bit with toys or something. Like you may have been shamed by this, by lovers. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, like even, yeah, in anything. You put it, you know what I'm saying. I just like there's so much coming in with how many different ways that this could play out. Or maybe you're someone too, like maybe you really do want to be in like a committed relationship, but you just can't see yourself as always having one partner. Like that's fine as long as the other partner can do that as well, right? Like always having open and honesty. But like maybe you just found yourself by trying to conform because the things that make you happy aren't really what the rest of the world is seeing as what makes you happy. I do see this placement as probably ending up in situations of conformity because that's what's expected of them, particularly in your family. It's a lot to do with like yourself and your expression of self. That can come through in your sexuality, your hobbies, your experiences, your relationships. And then, you know, possibly doing things that could create heavier karmic situations that you need to work out. Like, right, like if you were in a committed relationship and you're cheating on your partner and your partner's not into that, you are creating karma. You need to be open and honest with people if you're not happy with something. So I'm getting all Lilith now. Have a sip. All right, Lilith. Now I'm going to start pulling the cards. I like not seeing what's going on. I feel like I'm really connected to you. What's going on? I can't see. I can't even tell. No, I practiced a few times to see if my head was in the shot. I don't know. But if it wanders out of the shot, I have no idea. So, here we go. Lilith and Leo. We're starting with the, what is this called again? The Oracle of the Radiant Sun. Oh, isn't that so good for you? Having the sun energy of Leo. Is the Oracle of the Radiant Sun. This deck drives me crazy shuffling. That was so stubborn. Like a Leo. Okay. What do you want to talk about, Leo? Leo. No, Leo, it's not. It's about Lilith. Lilith wants to talk to you. See what I'm saying? It's like back and forth with these two energies. These are really like, if you get these two balanced, you're just the bomb. Oh, yeah. But that's what these readings are about, right? Is like some of this stuff is pretty extreme. Like real dictators. Like I was watching a program on dictators. And, yeah. It's really... I could see them having this placement if it was, and too, like being completely out of control with it, that the end justifies the means kind of energy. What does Lilith want to talk to you guys about in this? For some reason, I might be wrong. Let's see how it comes out. As I was pre-shuffling, I was hearing like a warning, like just a heads up about something. But let's see what she wants to talk to you guys about. I have kept it really, really open and been surprised every time what she brings forward. So Lilith to Leo. What are we talking about with this group, Lilith? Influence. Oh my God. I can't even. Look at this. I hope it's in the shot. Is it in the shot? Can you see it? I can't. Influence. I'm going to read from this. But just right off the top, we've got Adam and Eve. And we've got the snake. Y'all see how that all goes together with you talked about? Oh my God. For one thing, this is the traditionalism. This is the tradition. Like you got to be Adam and Eve. You're the divine masculine and feminine. The divine masculine will rule over the divine feminine because she's an idiot and she ate the apple. It's kind of like, you know, I'm just... That is really interesting. But let's read the book. I think she wants to talk to you about roles. Oh, Lord, Lilith. I don't know why she picked me for this shit. I'd rather just do other things. Okay. I'm not complaining, Lilith. I know. Now I'm talking to myself. Oh, Mercury. Oh, Mercury. Mercury in Pisces, right? Oh, no, it's... I'm saying Pisces. It's funny because I'm looking at Pisces here. Aquarius. Where did it go? Where did it? Oh, no. Libra. Oh my God. 3 L's. Libra, Lilith, and Leo. How the hell am I going to do this? Oh, I need to hold this up for you. See, I kind of forget that you're there. I'm looking at the camera. Okay, the events that this could be about. Being tempted by others. A group venture. Needing others' good advice. There's that sort of that sense of looking for attention. A renewed relationship that blossoms. The inspiration of a hero. When this card is drawn, it suggests that the inquirer should take a second opinion from a respected colleague about the present question. Oh, that's interesting. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a question you have. So ask a colleague. But I'm going to read the book here about this. I want to get into this more. And then I'm going to continue to pull out intuitive messages about it. So this really is going to talk about people with this placement. Like if you have Mercury in Libra, but it's really, really about what she wants to talk about with you right now. The mental expression of the Mercury and Libra character is primarily influenced by a concern with human interaction and close relationships. There is a delicacy about the Mercury Libran who prefers the company of the reserved and cultured. Their innate curiosity about the workings of other people's thought processes make Mercury Librans essentially sociable and friendly in outlook. Those with this planet sign combination need plenty of healthy discussion and amenable argument to exercise their natural capacity for seeing both sides of any question. I think this is also about being open to have discussion and not backing down from what you know is your truth and your happiness and how you would like to express that, and try to push past what the normalcy is considered and what is expected of you. For them, ideas are best developed in brainstorming sessions with partners where everyone's ideas are assimilated and developed together. Oh my God, I absolutely love that. Particularly, we were talking about, like, you may be someone that I do want to be in a commitment relationship. I want a solid foundation. I want a solid home. I want a family. I want all of that and to grow it into the future, but I just can't have one, I don't know, sexual partner or whatever. I guess, yeah, that would be it, I guess. Or I don't know, maybe there's other things too that are fulfilling. But people, like, the sex thing is a very intimate aspect. So people do not want to share that as much as other aspects. Like maybe you can have male friends or female friends if you're male or female. It's talking about this, like being open so that you can really find your pride, your tribe that will go with you on this. That's so interesting. Teamwork is undoubtedly the ideal mode of operation for Librans, and they find relationships most fulfilling when they are filled with good conversation and shared intellectual interests. So I also feel like too, it's talking about like what you know, the intellect, what you know is your true interest, like what you have interests in and how you would like to explore that. Being able to see other points of view, the Libran has excellent arbitration and diplomatic talents. For this reason, people with this combination tend to gravitate to such subjects as psychology, public relations, sociology, and law. Oh, isn't that funny? I talked about like being the lawyer, and it's better off that your client probably is better off, depending. Well, maybe you need better clients. I guess maybe you need the ones that have the most money, but just saying, if you have clients that you can't let them know that you like to dress up as a wizard on weekends. I don't know. Yeah, I know the world is slowly changing. Don't jeopardize your job. Negatively, there is a danger that in constantly being fair to all, the Mercury Libran may find it impossible to come down firmly on one side of a question. You always have to stand for something or you stand for nothing. That's so true. And then that's the end of that. That's fascinating. Wow. I feel so much. Okay. I feel so much like Lilith is here to liberate you. But I feel like for a lot of you, it is such a push and pull. And this push and pull, you feel it through you in terms of the outside world, that how it does it to you. And you feel that. The influence, the influence of the outside world affects you internally so much. Why can't I just be who I want to be? Why does everyone have to judge it? Why do I have to be that when I want to be this? I'm not hurting anybody. Flattery. Can't say that word anymore. I don't know why. Flattery. Flattery. Be careful with that too, because this is sort of like towing a line, telling people what they want to hear so that you can kind of negotiate with them. Well, again, I mean, coming from a Gemini, well, not a Gemini, Gemini rising, I can see it's a bit of diplomacy and flattery, as long as it's used healthy, in a healthy way. Don't compromise yourself with it though, I think is the important message with that, because I can see a lot of compromising of oneself and everything that I've kind of researched in this sign. Compromising, yeah. You have, what does that say? I should put on my glasses. I should turn on the light or put on my glasses. Holy shit. Cindy's getting old. What the hell? I know it's a Two of Pentacles, but it says something different. Something, a harmonious change. Okay, like, tell me. It's hard to read it too because it's like a very thin calligraphy. But look at the yin and the yang symbol. Oh my gosh. And they're both opposing each other. Like they're almost like mirroring each other. So it is the balance. The balance of the masculine and the feminine within you. I literally read that in one of the links that I was utilizing to research this. It literally is about the balance between the masculine and the feminine within you. For those of you that might be male or view yourselves genderly as, is genderly a word? Where it is now. Genderly as a male, oh, maybe this is where I should talk about that. Okay. Genderly as a male, you may find that your masculine energy is often overpowering your feminine, maybe vice versa, getting stronger the other way. And for those that you are genderly female, you may be finding that your feminine energy is overpowering your masculine. So you are just, you're either over domineering or you're too easygoing. It's about finding that balance in so many aspects of your life too. Well, this is interesting too, and this could be the group. So if this group is resonating, that you may be more, there may be more people in this group that are LGBTQ, or just untraditional lifestyle. One of the things that I was thinking about, I thought, because I know like him, her, his, and I already, yeah, all that. I know it doesn't relate to people that are like, identify as non-binary. And maybe this is coming from a Gemini rising, probably coming from anyone with Gemini strongly in their chart. Why don't you make some new words? Like, why don't you really define yourselves? I really feel that empowerment. Like, instead of, I know that they is like combining these two energies, but I was just thinking to myself, wouldn't it be like so empowering to create a whole new word? Like create a whole new word that doesn't even exist right now in the English language. And that, when I said like genderly, I don't think that's a word, but why not? Like combine two words, maybe two Latin words or something, or a Latin and an English, or an English and a German word, and make something completely new to describe yourselves. I think it would give it so much authority. I was just thinking that anyway, so you don't have to do that. So that's where that came up. I was like sort of tapped on the shoulder. To genderly, Cindy. So anyways, okay. I'm going to go with, I think someone should run with that. Like someone who is identifying as that and own it and like claim it. And I'll support you. Totally support you with it and see how much support we could get behind it. What other messages do we have here? But you see, it's almost like you guys like writing the script on who you are. Oh, it's so much in this energy of, I really like this energy. I know it's described as a tough placement because they both are so incredibly powerful on different ends. But I think when you can combine them, they're probably, it's like that nuclear power. You guys, I did a reading for Leo, and Sun in Leo, and you were like the nuclear power station. I could feel that in this energy. It could be either completely destroying of self or completely empowering of self. Well, that's a shitload of cards, Lilith. I think they fell out. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable with it. It felt like they fell out. And it's because she's got me using 2 decks here, and it is a lot. She forgets that I just have little human hands, so. All right. Okay, I'm going to split it. Tell me to split it. Split the deck, Cindy. split it twice. You know, I like to split it 3 times. I need to get out more. Now I'm talking to Lilith as well. She said twice, so we're doing it twice. Oh my gosh, the Tower, the Empress, the 5 of Wands. Oh, are you seeing this? Look what you got. You guys are meant to shake it up. You know why you have pleasure in areas that other people don't see as pleasurable? Or why, it's more like why things that bring you pleasure kind of cause you pain. And then the 5 of Wands, because there's nothing wrong with it. I think that's what I want to say. Oh, it's such a, I don't know. I came across the weirdest video last night. I was researching dolphins and human interaction. God, the weirdest video. Oh my God. No judging. No, I can't even talk about it on here. It's just, well, it's, I'm supposed to, oh, she's pushing me show or talk about this. Like, a guy had sex with a dolphin in this video. I was like, oh my God. Like, so I'm watching, and he's completely open. He's sitting in a chair and he's talking. Google him and find him. It's like, oh my God. And he's talking about it. And then he talks about all this childhood trauma that he had. And he's attracted to animals and he just can't. I don't know. Maybe someone's in here with that. I'm not judging. It is like, it is so different. But what I'm getting is that, like, you're meant to express yourself in whatever way that is. And in whatever way, there's always consent on all ends of it. But there's really a big aspect of your sexuality, your sensuality, your masculine, your feminine here. It's really like, this reading is reeking of it. It's almost like making me feel uncomfortable. But that's just me, my human experience. And I'm like sitting here and not putting judgment on anything, because really, I live in a glass house. We all live in glass houses. So I would never throw rocks at anyone, because I mean, I will point out your deficiencies and I'll point out mine too. But this reading is really like, I think it's really trying to like pick out the things inside you that make you feel uncomfortable, the things that make you squirm. Like even that thing, like talking about, that was the last thing I expected. Of course I clicked on it. I saw other people in the comments. I just had to click on this and don't know why I did, because of the title. We've all done it. And like, it makes me feel uncomfortable, because it's not something that I feel is like morally correct. But who am I to judge this person? And really, who are any of us to judge anyone who has found the courage to sit in front of a camera or sit in front of some sort of public audience, even if that public audience is just your parents, or that public audience is just like your closest friend or your partner or your spouse or whatever that is, and to say something about how you feel and how you see yourself, or something that you'd like to explore. And this is a sense of empowerment that brings, like, initially it's so much discomfort. Like, oh my God, I don't know how to deal with this video. And then again, like, sometimes I think, I used to think that, now I just really realize it, is that certain things happen in my life because they end up coming out in videos. And that's part of my channeling. I'm a channeler to experience, and I don't know how much I enjoy that, but I'd rather just read it in a book. But the Empress then, like, there's this divine feminine energy that can't be held back. Like, it's absolute abundance. It's finding balance with Lilith in Leo, and giving it full empowerment of expression, of beauty, of abundance, of growth. Anything that might make you feel uncomfortable, but causes like the uncomfortableness. I think that's a word. Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna make my own Cindy dictionary. So the conflict within, there is a big conflict here with these two energies, but I feel like too, through the biggest conflicts, we may achieve the most stable and long-term peace and balance. The biggest shakeups create the biggest changes. And if it's it's like that saying, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. So the bigger these things are within you, the harder they're going to be to face. But yet when they are faced, it's almost as if the smoother the path forward. I didn't even watch the whole video. I didn't watch the whole video. I just got to the way the guy started to cry. And I'm like, this I can't. I can't watch this anymore. Anyways, I gotta go back to reading a book or something. You just don't know what's gonna come up on YouTube when you Google something. You search it. Like dolphins and human interaction. I'm like, oh. The bottom. I don't even know how long these videos are anymore either. That's the thing. I don't know. I feel like the message is, I feel like it's petering off is how I would describe it. I am being called to call a couple of clarifiers out here, but I want to look at the, underline. Oh my gosh. You did not. God darn it. Look at this. Holy crap. This is the most incredible underline I've ever pulled out. You have the Hanged Man. You have the Devil. Now remember, I've got two decks here. I've got the Heaven and Earth deck and the Murder of Crows deck. You have Oppression, which is the Ten of Wands. And you have the Ten of Wands. You have the Ten of Wands twice sitting behind the Devil. Wow. This reading is so big and intense. I have to say, these are the hardest readings for me to do. Like, you'll find that I only do them like 1 or 2 a day, and not even every day, because I can't, because it's so much coming in. But I have found that I'm learning so much more about the depths of humanity through Lilith than I am through just general readings. These are just incredible. This is because we have the masculine and the feminine sitting here. We have the heavy burden showing up on both sides, this desire to express. I really feel like the biggest lesson in this entire reading is consent. What's this called? Influence, consent. It's consent. Because there are certain things about you, certain things that you may want to engage in, certain things that you may want to do that many people will think is very dark. But that's why it's so important to receive consent and to look for consent. And also to be honest with yourself in who you are so that you can find those that give consent, those that also find empowerment in what it is and how it is you want to be. Because you can't have, there's no way around this, am I showing both? So I can't see on the camera. There's no way around like both of these losing burden, both masculine and feminine energies within you and in relationships with people, of losing this burden unless there's absolute consent in whatever it is or however you want to express yourself. Because someone's going to feel suppressed, someone's going to feel over-dominated, someone's going to feel like you're influencing them beyond what their choices are. It's how we look at it, like getting a broader perspective here and realizing that something that might bring you joy, might bring you satisfaction, may absolutely feel like an absolute oppression and burden to the person that you're dealing with. And vice versa. People could be dealing with you and they could be expressing in a certain manner. They could be relating to you or seeing you or expecting things of you that bring them happiness and joy and fulfillment, but they come off to you as a complete burden and you feel completely oppressed by it. Consent, consent, consent. If I was going to call this anything, I would call it consent. Yeah. And that's how it becomes toxic, is when, because like, look at this, like maybe depending on who you are too, like maybe you want to do like the chained up thing, but you need to have consent to do the chained up thing. But like, because this Adam and Eve thing can feel like chains to some people. Like, what the hell? This doesn't feel like any sort of freedom of expression. It's all in the perspective. It really is. And there could be no more of a prominent sign that I've hit so far. I'm almost halfway through. It'd take me maybe all summer to do this. Almost halfway through. And I find here the greatest, like I said, there's the greatest potential for balance within. The greatest exploration of a life unknown and unwitnessed prior to this point in time. And to live that life, but to live it freely and without burden. But through that burden is absolute consent and openness. The guy said he got consent from the dolphin because you can't outswim a dolphin. Do I need to clarify, Lilith? I feel like I've been going on for a long time here. I guess I could start watching the clock over there. I just want to see what this Five of Wands is. This is definitely like, there's going to be conflict. Yeah, you know what I'm getting too? Like looking at this card, I hope you can see it. I can tell this in the camera. Is all these birds, all the crows, ravens, well, it's the crow deck. So all the crows like flying away, like making your point, sticking it in the ground. It might cause some sort of disruption or people may not agree with it, but it certainly like forces out what's not meant to be around you. Because things that aren't meant to be around you, like utilize them in a way that it helps you grow and see what it is that you really want in life. And then once you see that, now you can be open about pursuing that and you can find consent. And when I say consent, like this is not just like sexual. Like maybe you want to, oh yeah, that's interesting too. So like maybe you're an artist and you like to paint nudes, but you've never had, most of your partners, like, I feel really uncomfortable with that, or I want to be in the studio when that's happening. Like maybe you like to paint or photograph nudes, but to you, the human body is just a piece of artwork. And it really is. I mean, to another artist, they would really get that. So yeah, I think it's the consent. If there's trust there, like that's the thing. If you've created a basis in trust with someone, you should be able to get that consent if you both have similar likes and disbeliefs, or you can respect one another for what you have in differences. Gosh, this reading is really, this could go on forever, these Lilith. Okay, I can't, there's so much, Lilith. Just Murphy. I think I get this with Leo, or no, it's Aquarius, where cards just fly out. Like a whole storybook. Didn't I just do that? Did I not just give you a whole storybook? Okay, we're talking about the Five of Wands. I want to tell you how this ends is the Six of Wands. So it ends in victory. I get you right to the last part of the page. Three of Wands, Five of Pentacles, Hermit, the World, Knight of Pentacles, King of Swords, King of Pentacles, and Six of Wands. This does feel like coming to some sort of decision in your life, like with the Three of Wands into the Five of Pentacles, is there's something bigger and better for me. There's something else that I want out there that I'm not getting in this lifetime. And then with the Five of Pentacles, like you're putting yourself kind of out into the cold. And when you do that, you go into hermit mode. So you're exploring yourself internally. You're really getting to know who you are. You're really trying to understand, like, do you like men or women or dolphins? And then like completing that cycle. Completing the cycle of internal exploration, but this, for many of you, facing the conflict, part of that conflict is separating yourself, separating the seed from the chaff, right? So like separating what is useful or what are useful relationships for you, what are higher good relationships for you, as opposed to not so good, like keep making you feel suppressed in some aspect of your life. And I mean, I don't want to say that this would have to be like committed relationships that you're in. It could be friendships. It could be certain people that you just, you know, maybe you go to bowling night. You're like, really, I'm not interested in bowling night, or I was like 20 years ago, but I don't even have anything that similar to talk to these people about anymore. Like it could just like be like that. And like, I'd rather do Dungeons and Dragons like on Friday nights than bowling. So coming to that sort of conclusion for yourself, and then and then sealing that off, like really kind of sealing it off and knowing who you are and going forward. Like, I love how you go forward after this. The Knight of Pentacles, you're slow and steady. You're not rushing into anything. It's just, I'm going to continue to learn along the way here, because I'm learning about myself, right? Because you've done self-exploration, but it's almost like looking back, the way this hermit is sitting here and he's looking back on where he's come from, where he or she has come from. And then learning who you are. And the first thing that you hit is the King of Swords. So your truth, and you're standing by it, and nobody's going to shoot you down on it. This is it. If you don't like it, that's fine. Just go somewhere else. Like, why do we have to deal with this? I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind. It's the King of Swords. And then the King of Pentacles. This is really like finding prosperity, finding balance, perhaps even finding, like, if you are someone who wants to be in a committed relationship, but you want to explore other options in that, then like maybe, because that was one of the topics, one of the things that Lilith told me to explain, that could be there for you. Whatever that is for you. Literally the King of Pentacles, once you are sitting in your masculine truth, and that really means you draw a line in the sand and you let people know what the line is and where it is. And if they cross it, this is what you can expect. And then when they cross it, they get exactly what you told them they can expect. Like, there's no wishy-washy with it. Where kind of like the utilization of feminine energy might be a little bit more, I'll move the line a little bit. Let's compromise a little bit. Let's look at this from both. This is my angle. If you don't like it, then you can go on that side of the line. And it brings you stability. It brings you abundance, and it brings you good stuff, like in your physical world. And you find success. And look at, you have like the Six of Wands. It's not just you have found success. There's a group cheering you on. So you kind of find the group that, after being like in isolation, being excluded, having heavy burdens, there you are in your success. Oh my God. I have to go do the extended now. I thought I would do 2 of these today, but I don't think so. It's going to take me all summer to get through this series. I know it is. I know it is. Oh yeah, so I'm all done. I'm pushing these down. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to be in the extended because she leaves that open. And she's like that. All right. Until next time, to be gentle with yourselves. Bye.